Well, now we're coming back to social laws. See, there's a mixture between fighting in the path of Allah, which had a lot to do in these ayat also with the munafiqun and military strategy. But at the same time, Muslims are in a community and the community is building. So these things are mukhtalat. They're mixed in together. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, "Man yashfa' shafa'atan hasana." It's a very interesting social phenomenon. Putting in a good word. You know, in Arabic we say tarshih, or isa also, to give recommendation to others. Like somebody, there's a job opening. We're in Irving, so I'll say there's a job opening in Verizon, right? And you figure you can hook your brother up with a job or something, help him out, put in a good word for him, etc. But a lot of times we do that because that's your cousin, or that's your uncle, or that guy's also from the same town you're from, etc. And other times you put in a good word because the person's actually good. They're a good, honest person looking for work, and you kind of put in a recommendation for him. Somebody came and said, "I'm thinking about marrying this brother. Our family's considering him. What do you think about him?" And you put in a good word, not because you know the guy and you want to hook him up, but he's actually a good guy. You've actually done your homework and you put in a good word. Then there are people who don't want to give any good word to anybody. I don't recommend anyone. I don't trust people. Right? Brother, could you help me, at least put in a word for my application? I have a good resume. Yeah, I don't do that. Sorry. Well, they'll tell you they'll do it, but they won't do it. I know us as Pakistanis have that problem. We can't see other people get ahead, so we don't recommend people. Right? So even if there's a job opening and you know somebody in the community that's looking for work, you won't do anything about it because you can't see anybody get, you feel like your territory will somehow be reduced if somebody's even within your vicinity. These are real social problems, and they still exist. These were back then and even now. To give somebody a recommendation in business, give somebody a recommendation, yeah, I think you should loan him the money, he's good for it. This guy has a good track record, I've done business with him before, etc. But you just don't want to help anybody out. But so Allah says, "Man yashfa' shafa'atan hasanatan." Whoever would come and give a recommendation here, shafa'a in the sense of recommendation. Also, shafa'a here means intercession, like somebody was getting in trouble. And you got in the way and you said, "No, actually, I believe that was a mistake. I don't think he meant to do that. He didn't mean to say it. You took it the wrong way. But this is what he actually meant, because I know him, he doesn't talk like that." So you came to defend somebody in trial or in a domestic situation or a quarrel between friends, and you put in a good word for somebody based on what you know of them. So it's a good shafa'ah, it's a good intercession. You try to do this to make peace between people, to help somebody out, to resolve a conflict, and it's based on truth, not your biases. It's based on actual truth. يَكُنْ لَهُ نَصِيبٌ مِنْهَا. Then he will have, the person who gave a good recommendation, put in a good word, help resolve a matter, he's going to have a good portion from that too. He'll get the reward of it too. You know how you read the hadith, الدَّالُّ عَلَى الْخَيْرِ كَفَاعِلِهِ, the one who points to a good is like the one who does it. It's like, it's under that bab. It's under that chapter, this idea. That when you help somebody out, you indicate something good, then you'll get a portion of it too. وَمَنْ يَشْفَعْ شَفَاعَةً سَيِّئَةً. And when somebody gives a false, evil, bad recommendation, now this could mean a couple of things. This could mean somebody recommends somebody against, don't marry him. No. This guy you don't know. He's bad. Well, how is he bad? I don't want to tell you. You don't have anything on him, so he said, I don't want to tell you, but it's really bad. I don't think you should consider that, brother. That's just because you don't like the guy. No basis at all. You just, slam him, throw him under the bus. Use this with his sister. I know you're being considered, that family's considered, let me call them and warn them about her. Because, this one time she was looking at me at the masjid, and I don't know what that was about, so I'm going to just make sure she lives a single life, etc. Right? People can get very petty in these kinds of things. People can, what people do nowadays, like halal restaurants, right? Sometimes they're competitors, right? So they'll spread a rumor about the competitor restaurant. They don't have halal meat, right? Oh, he's a good brother, mashallah, but he mixes pork in his chicken sandwich. Like, shafa'atan sayyi'atan. Dude, first of all, why'd you open your restaurant next door? And then you spread a rumor that the guy's selling halal. There's shafa'atan sayyi'ah. Spreading a bad word about somebody. It also means putting in a false recommendation. In other words, you say, yeah, this guy's great. You need to hire this guy. You need to get this guy. And you know he's trouble, but you don't say anything. This is because he's the hookup community. In the Muslim world, how do people get positions and jobs? Somebody's uncle, somebody's cousin, somebody's nephew, and he gets kind of the fast track in, the hookup. Now, in America, we try to use the Muslim hookup, right? Your brother, Muslim brother, hook me up, whether I'm qualified or not, whether I have a bad track record or not. Look, Muslim or not, if you have a bad track record, if your references don't speak for you, then you shouldn't be recommended. There was a brother that I did some work with. I had contracted him out for some work I wanted to do. And he did a horrible job. I mean, this guy was horrible. There was no communication, no meeting deadlines, nothing. And then he expected, to be paid in full, in advance, even though his work was 3 months late. And, it's at the level of being brothers. I'm still a friend, I'm still a brother, but I told him, this is really unprofessional. I can't recommend you. And then he contacts me on LinkedIn and says, could you write a profile about how awesome I am because I need people to see that I've done work for you. I was like, I'm not recommending you. I am not. And you better not put me on your profile because I'm going to put out that you did not do work, that you were late in your deadlines. You will not use what you did for me because you didn't do it right. If you're going to do another project for me, which probably I won't give you business anyway anymore, but if you want to go hang out, play basketball sometimes, that's fine. But business is business. You didn't do your job. You have to draw those lines. And you can't just recommend people just because. The same thing's happening now. Brother, we have an Islamic school. Can you make a video about how awesome it is? No? Okay. Why not? I don't know your school. I don't know. So then come check it out. I don't have time. Sorry. Because if I check your school out, then what's going to happen next? There's like 85 other schools that I should audit now financially before I... There are some organizations that are extremely transparent. Their paperwork is out there. It speaks for itself. And by the way, those are the kinds of institutions, they don't need somebody to come and endorse them. Their work speaks for itself. This entire culture of getting somebody famous to come and say, hey, this is a good cause right here. You need to endorse this. That already suggests something's missing in its merits. Something else has to come and validate it. We should think about these things when we think about these ayat. Shafa'at and sayyi'ah. It's one thing to get scholars to come and motivate us and things like that. It has its place. But man, when it comes to like recommending blindly, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We really do have to hold ourselves to. And then when there are good efforts happening, we should not be shy in recommending them and endorsing them, not for commercial reasons, not for what do we get out of it, because it's a good cause. Like recently, this brother came to me. People come every time with a project that they're doing, and they say, "Can you advertise this project for us? Can you do this video for this project for us?" This brother came and he didn't advertise anything. He just said, "I just want you to see this. I'm going to just give you 30 seconds of my time. There's a lot of divorced people in the Muslim community, and they get blacklisted. So I've made a matrimonial website. It's a non-profit organization. It's completely non-profit. It's just for people who are divorced and looking to get married again. And we put some good filters in it for people to search each other and get in touch with imams and things like that. It was a nice setup." I said, "Hey, that's awesome. I recommend you guys wholeheartedly." Actually, that's going to come into Surah too, when people get divorced. How life will move on. There's ayat about how life will move on. I wish we read those ayat more often. Because for us, in our communities, divorce is the same as a death sentence. Or it's the same as leaving Islam or something. They're not part of the community. They're not welcome here. Don't hang out with them. You might get the curse. Right? Don't hang out with those people. Like literally people tell their daughters to stay away from that woman that's divorced because she carries around the curse of the abandoned woman or something. Like, I don't know where we get this stuff from, Anyhow, this shafa'at and hasana and shafa'at and sayyah is something legitimate. And it can create a lot of goodwill in society. And if it's not in place correctly, it can create a lot of evil in society. So yakun lahu kiflun minha, and he will have whatever portion now the first word was nasib and the second word is kifl. They're both words for portion in the Arabic language. But this kifl means the necessary portion due, and it could be good or bad. Good or bad. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ. And by the way, kifl also means double. Kifl also means double the compensation. This Ibn Faris argues. So in other words, you put somebody in a bad job, you get one sin for lying, the other for all the messed up stuff he did. You get twice. So يَكُنْ لَهُ كِفْلٌ مِّنْهَا وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُقِيتًا. And Allah has always been a complete guardian over all things. This word comes from أَقَاتَ يُقِيتُ. أَقَاتَ يُقِيتُ إِقَاتَةً فَهُوَ muqitun. Okay? Iqata has three meanings in it. One, to have power. Two, to have guardianship. And three, to have the ability to hold something, to not let something go. Allah uses this word at the end of this ayah as if to say, you know, you will put somebody in a position of responsibility because of your false testimony. Or you will let somebody slide from court because of your false testimony. Or you will falsely accuse someone and throw somebody in jail because of your false testimony. But at the end of the day, all things and all people are under the protection of Allah. Your false testimony will not save someone and it will not hurt someone. At the end, it is Allah Azza wa Jal. Another social norm, وَإِذَا حُيِّيتُم بِتَحِيَّةٍ Tahiyya, you said Tahiyatu Lillah, you've heard that before? It comes from the same root origin as the word hayat, hayy, life itself. In many cultures in the world that are inspired by Islam, we actually use this phrase. It's from the original Arabic, like Hayyak Allah. We say Hayyak Allah, may Allah give you life. Right? Some village cultures in Pakistan, for example, say Hayati Hove. Right? May you live long and prosper. You know? So the idea, إِذَا حُيِّيتُم, when you greet someone with a greeting of life, live a good life, have a good life, with any kind of greeting, tahiyatin, with any kind of greeting. Now, and when you are greeted with any kind of greeting. So Allah did not restrict this conversation to Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Why? Because sometimes some non-Muslim will come to you and say, hey, good morning. How's it going? Have a nice day. That's also a tahiyyah. That's also a greeting. And bi tahiyatin is nakira, it could be any greeting. Of course, the best of those greetings is the salam. And so when we hear the salam, we should respond with a better salam. So he says, فَحَيُّ بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا. Then respond with a better. Or at least, أَوْرُدُّهَا, or at least, respond with the same. Have a nice day, you do the same. Okay. I hope you have a great afternoon. I hope you have a great afternoon. Actually, I hope you have a better afternoon. بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا. You know. Then the least you could do is respond the same way. Not the grocery store, you know, you're at the cash register, she says, have a nice day, you say, I will. Then you walk away. Don't do that. Like, actually respond with something nicer. I hope you have a nicer day. You know? Something like that. Just to respond with better, because Allah gave preference to responding with better and then said at the very least, at least respond to it. This is why when somebody says, Assalamu alaikum, we don't just say, Wa alaikum assalam, we say, Wa alaikum assalam, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We add. Because we're fulfilling what Allah recommended. Do better. Do one more. Oh, thanks so much for it. And by the way, you should do more for another reason too. Who gets more reward? The one who initiates the salam or the one who responds? The one who initiates. So you got to compete and you got to compensate somehow. You got to make up for the loss here and add some more so you get a little, equal the score a little. It's a competition of good deeds. Oh yeah? Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Wa barakallahu fika wa hayyak Allah. Knock them out. Inna Allah kana ala kulli shay'in hasiba. Certainly Allah, He has always been in complete audit, in complete accounting of all things. In other words, these little deeds, these little greetings, and these little responses, even they are being accounted for. Every one of these things counts towards something. Now, what's the best greeting of all? The salam, the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum. And that's interesting that phrase doesn't just, it's not just a dua for the person you're talking to in this dunya, but also in the akhirah. May peace be upon you universally means may you live a life of peace here, a life of Islam here, and as a result may you enjoy peace in the akhirah. Now Allah is giving us an interesting appreciation of these greetings. When will you appreciate the blessing of those du'as, those sincere du'as that were made every time we greeted each other with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I've told you before how disingenuous salam can become. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, we don't say it properly either. Right? I don't know what that is. What are the syllables in that word? I don't understand. And then the typical Pakistani response is pretty awesome. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. You don't have to say it in full tajweed either. It's okay. You don't have to make funny faces and do the makharij. But say it clearly, but more importantly, mean it. Mean there's no more fight between us. We're at peace with each other. Husband and wife have a fight. Both angry at each other. You forgot the milk. Oh yeah, you didn't text me. Why do I have to text you? You're supposed to remember. Well, I'm supposed to remember. Well, you're supposed to text me. And we're going back and forth. Then he's leaving. I'm going to the masjid. Assalamu alaikum. Says, wa alaikum salam. That's not salam. If you say assalamu alaikum, the idea behind it is the fight's over. Look, it's gone, we're erasing it, I just said salam. That means it's over. It's buried, it's done. This is the peace treaty, assalamu alaikum. That's what it is. You can't say, that's why the Prophet ﷺ gives us advice with your brother, how many days shouldn't go by before you say salam to your brother? What does it mean, salam? It doesn't just mean, I'm fulfilling the hadith, I just wanted to say assalamu alaikum, click. That's not what it, or text him, assalamu alaikum. No. What it means is make peace with him. Because the act of giving salam is to make the beef disappear. Make the quarrel disappear. That's what it is. So we can make a mockery out of salam. And we do, unfortunately. We don't really understand what it is that we're saying when we're saying salam. Board members at a masjid coming and sitting at a meeting saying salam to each other, and they don't mean any peace at all. They're at the same time planning a lawsuit with a lawyer back in the back. And he comes and says assalamu alaikum when he sits in the trial. I don't know how far apart from what we're saying and what we're doing we can get. So he says, Allah says, now when will this peace come in handy? Allahu la ilaha illa huwa. Allah, there is no one to be worshipped and obeyed in any way, shape or form except He. La yajma'annakum ila yawmil qiyamati. He will certainly gather you towards the day of standing. You will be standing on that day, and what will you be hoping for? Safety, peace. La rayba fihi. There is absolutely no doubt in it whatsoever. وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ حَدِيثًا. And who is more true than Allah when it comes to the word? When giving a word, when giving a speech. Allah has given you a guarantee that you're going to be gathered towards Allah Azza wa Jalla on Judgment Day. Now we come back to an issue of the munafiqun, because these concepts are mukhtalat, they're mixed together in this surah. We come to a matter of the munafiqun. There was a certain element of people that became Muslim that didn't migrate. When the Prophet ﷺ migrated, they didn't migrate. But it's not that they didn't migrate because they couldn't. We've already read about al-mustad'afina min al-rijal, wal-nisa, wal-wildan. We read about those. These were people that were capable of moving, but when it came to leaving Mecca, they just said, you know what, that's too much, I'm not going to do it. And they purposely decided to stay back in Mecca, not for any other constraints, but they weren't willing to make that kind of a life change. Okay, so Allah basically passed a verdict on that group of people also, that they are munafiq. So now there's two kinds of people that are stuck in Mecca, or are in Mecca. There's those that are stuck, they have a viable excuse. Then there are those who refuse to go, even though they could have gone. They're basically labeled munafiq. Now there's an argument about among the Muslims in Medina, how should we think of those guys? If we ever have a fight with them and we see one of those guys in the battlefield, what should we do? Is that a Muslim then? So Allah says, فَمَا لَكُمْ. What's wrong with you? فِي الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِئَتَيْنِ. What's the matter with you? When it comes to the matter of the hypocrites, you've turned into two groups. وَاللَّهُ أَرْكَسَهُمْ بِمَا كَسَبُوا. And Allah has turned them upside down because of what they earned. Allah has reversed all the good they ever did. Arkasa, like they say, Arkasa thawba as-sabagh. You take the outfit, you hang it upside down, you dip it in the dye to color the cloth. Right? Arkasa, to hang something upside down. Allah says, literally Allah has turned them upside down. All the commitments, all the word they had made has all been reversed. None of it counts now. Why are you arguing about it then? أَتُرِيدُونَ أَن تَهْدُوا. Are you looking to guide? Are you hoping that, are you intending to guide? مَنْ أَضَلَّ اللَّهِ. Who Allah Himself has now misguided. In other words, Allah passed a verdict on them that they don't deserve guidance. وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهِ فَلَنْ تَجِدَ لَهُ سَبِيلًا. And whoever Allah would misguide Himself, you will never find a way for them. I know a lot of people ask the question, why would Allah misguide somebody? And why does Allah say Allah decided to misguide somebody? Inshallah, in Meccan Quran, we'll see this subject in detail. Then we'll talk about what does it mean that Allah decided to misguide somebody? And how does that work in the Quran? When someone become worthy of that? وَدُّوا لَوْ تَكْفُرُونَ كَمَا كَفَرُوا. Those people that are left in Mecca are hoping that you become disbelievers like they have become disbelievers. In other words, Allah is saying, because He said in the previous ayah, أَرْكَسَهُمْ, Allah turned them around. It's basically they left the religion. They essentially left the religion. But they're keeping their options open. So they're not announcing that they're kuffar, because they never know if the Muslims might win. This might come in handy. The Islam in storage on the shelf might come in handy. But Allah has called it, look, they want you to be just like them. فَتَكُونُونَ سَوَاءً. Then you will all be equal. فَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا مِنْهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءَ. Then don't you dare take any of them from any of them any kind of protective friends, reliable friends, حَتَّى يُهَاجِرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, until they migrate in the path of Allah. Until that happens, they can't be relied on. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, then if they do turn back, in other words, they don't migrate, فَخُذُوهُمْ, then grab them, وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ, and kill them, حَيْثُ وَجَدْتُمُوهُمْ, wherever you may find them. Why such harsh punishment? Because you don't know, it's state of war. Understand, it's still the state of war. And in a state of war, is it possible that some of them are spies that have become Muslim only to get intelligence from you, and now they're turning back? Oh wait, where are you going? Oh, we just realized they're a spy. So at that point, if they fight with you, you have to engage with them and you have to grab them. وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ وَجَدْتُمُوهُمْ وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا مِنْهُمْ وَلِيًّا وَلَا نَصِيرًا, and don't you dare take among them any protective friend or any helper. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ يَصِلُونَ إِلَىٰ قَوْمٍ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَهُمْ مِيثَاقٌ. Now the exceptional situation. Some people refuse to migrate, but they realize the tight hold on Makkah is increasing. So they left Makkah, but they didn't come to Medina. They went to some other tribe, other mushrik tribe, but that mushrik tribe has a peace treaty with the Muslims. So now there's a guy that's labeled a hypocrite by Allah, no longer in Makkah, no longer in enemy territory, but he's no longer in Medina, but he's in a territory that the Muslims have a peace treaty with. How should you deal with him? So you cannot fight those and seize those guys because they are in a peaceful land, in a land that Muslims have an agreement with. Except those who reach a nation, between them and you there is a covenant, a contract, an agreement. أَوْ جَاءُكُمْ حَسِرَتْ صُدُورُهُمْ, or they came to you exhausted. حَسِرَتْ صُدُورُهُمْ, their hearts have become tight, they're mentally pressured too much, I can't stand this whole war situation. The Meccans are asking me to be with them in the battlefield, you guys are asking me to be in the battlefield, I don't want to deal with any of this. I'm done, I am just coming here because I'm no longer able to fight you guys or them. أَنْ يُقَاتِلُكُمْ أَوْ يُقَاتِلُوا قَوْمَهُمْ, I don't want to fight you, I don't want to fight them, I want nothing to do with this. Just keep me out of it. I'm not necessarily Muslim, I'm not a loyal mushrik, I just want to live. That's it. Just leave me alone. So they come to you like that, then you don't mess with them, you leave them alone too. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَسَلَّطَهُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ, had Allah wanted, He would have imposed them on you. Meaning, had Allah wanted, Meccans would have gained more influence, and these same people that are now coming to you, like I can't take it anymore, they would have turned coats when they saw the Meccans winning, and they would have imposed themselves on you. فَلَقَاتَلُوكُمْ, then they would have fought you for sure. فَإِنِ اعْتَزَلُوكُمْ, but if it's the case that they've left you alone, they want to be left alone, they're not dealing with you, they don't want to deal with you. I'tizal is to stay away from somebody. To stay away from somebody. This word is used when the husband's supposed to stay away from the wife in her period of impurity, right? They're not engaging you, they're staying away from you. فَلَمْ يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ, and then as a result, they didn't fight you. أَوْ أَلْقَوْا إِلَيْكُمُ السَّلَامَ وَأَلْقَوْا إِلَيْكُمُ السَّلَامَ, at the same time, they extended peace to you. They said, look, we're not going to fight you, and we are in peace with you guys. فَمَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلًا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلًا, then Allah has not allowed for you to pursue any case against them. Allah didn't give that right to you. مَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ, Allah did not give it all, make it all for you, لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلًا, against them in particular, any case. You can't make a case against them. Don't pursue any kind of course of action against them.